New South Wales paramedics are going on strike today as they campaign for better public sector wages, or the wage cap to be axed. Joining me live now is former Treasurer of New South Wales, Kean, now Shadow Health. Good to see you. You thought some of these unions were just protesting because they didn't like your government, and it seems they're not very happy with this current one either.
Well, my understanding is that they feel betrayed. They feel betrayed that Chris Minns promised as a core election commitment that he'd give every public sector pay worker, every health worker, every nurse, every AMBO a huge pay increase and remove the wages cap in New South Wales. And so far, all he's done is spend more time negotiating with the UFC than sorting out this health crisis of his own creation.
They argue that they need time. How much more time do you think they might need? Are you willing to give them any leeway here?
Well, he made a core election promise to every health worker in the state, every AMBO, every nurse, every public servant across New South Wales, that he would remove the wages cap and that he would give huge pay increases. Now, he spent more time negotiating with the UFC than he has done with public servants on delivering his key election promise. He promised that he would give huge pay increases and protect the budget in New South Wales. And we're about to find out whether he's going to betray the health workers of this state or betray the people of New South Wales by blowing the state's budget.
You don't think they're really going to renege on that promise, do you? It's just about timing.
Well, this is about Chris Minns' trustworthiness. Can you trust what Chris Minns says? He told health workers that he would give huge increases to their pay and remove the public sector wages cap in order to win their support to get elected. And now we're on the other side of the election. It's been 50 days since he was elected, and he's been able to introduce legislation to change Sydney Water's operating conditions. He's been able to spend time negotiating with the UFC. We've heard nothing around his core election promise of removing the wages cap and giving huge public sector pay increases.
Are you going to vote for that legislation, by the way, on Sydney Water to put it in the Constitution?
We're working through those processes. Parliament goes back next week, but we've always said that we support Sydney Water being kept in public hands. What we saw was a baseless scare campaign being run by Labor. This is just politics by Labor. They know that there was never any intention to privatise Sydney Water. So Labor now, they will have to manage Sydney Water, and the coalition will respond accordingly.
Scare campaign or not, it worked, and now they're trying to wedge you again. By not voting for this legislation, do you accept that there is a bit of a PR issue on the Liberals' part when it comes to privatisation, perhaps?
Well, not at all. The Liberals obviously support keeping Sydney Water in public hands. That was made clear during the election campaign. But, you know, this is about Chris Minns' trustworthiness. He took commitments to the election, and his major commitment was delivering public servants huge pay increases and removing the wages cap. And so far, we've seen nothing on either of those fronts. And I don't support the strike action happening today, but I can understand why health workers feel frustrated that they've been lied to.
Interestingly, during the campaign, I pointedly asked Chris Minns about his housing policy, that it was akin to privatisation, essentially selling off public land to developers. Now, his Housing Minister, Rose Jackson, has been asked about this in the last couple of weeks. They still kind of maintain it's not privatisation. Is that your definition of privatisation?
Well, I think what we're seeing already is that there are questions about Chris Minns' trustworthiness. He made certain commitments before the election in order to get power. Now he's in power and he's doing something entirely different to what he said he'd do. So, I mean, in opposition, you know, he spent a lot of time making false claims, making promises. Now he's got to keep those promises, and he's failing to do so, and he should be held to account for it.
Do you think they're doing a pretty good job so far?
Well, clearly the health workers don't think they're doing a good job. Clearly, the false claims around a health crisis he made as opposition leader weren't true, and now we're dealing with a health crisis of his own creation. So today, the safety and well-being of millions of New South Wales residents, thousands of people in our hospital system, is being compromised by Chris Minns' failure to pick up the phone to the unions and sort out the mess that he created. So by that measure, he's not doing a good job at all.
Okay, are you going to support and campaign for The Voice, Matt Kean?
Sorry, Laura, what was your question?
There's a bit of a lawnmower in the background, or I don't know, but I'll try again. The Voice, are you going to? Do you support it, and will you campaign for it?
Yes, I support The Voice. I'll be campaigning for it. I'll be campaigning to unite the nation and build a stronger nation, as I always do. That's been a matter of public record, and I'll be out there proudly supporting a yes vote and a voice in Parliament.
That goes against what your current leader said to me just a couple of days ago.
Well, that's the beauty of the Liberal Party, Laura, that we respect different opinions on this matter and other matters, and I've got just as much of a say in whether or not the voice to Parliament is enshrined or is carried in the referendum as anyone else in our state and indeed our country. I've got one vote, you've got one vote, everyone's got a vote, and I'll be having my say just like the rest of the country.
Matt Kean, thanks so much for your time. See you soon.